Welcome to Keeping It Real, the largest podcast for real estate agents and by real estate agents. My name is DJ Paris. I am your guide and host through the show. And today on the show is our monthly series called Monday Market Minute with Carrie McCormick from At Properties. And she's also from the Carrie McCormick Real Estate Group. Now, Carrie is a top 1% producer in Chicago with over 20 years of experience helping buyers, sellers, and investors. In fact, in the past 12 months, out of 44,000 real estate agents in the Chicagoland area, Carrie is currently ranked number 8 in production. She's a true superstar and an expert in everything from first-time home buyers, veteran investors, and luxury properties. She also works a lot with a lot of developers and is often chosen to represent their high-end developments, including the one that I am closing on, hopefully in the next month or two. So I have direct experience working with Carrie. She's awesome. But please visit Carrie at her website, which is carriemccormickre.com. And also this week, this week she is doing her favorite things on Instagram, and she's giving away an item every single day. She's going to be talking about her favorite things that she enjoys in her life, and then doing a giveaway every single day. So you can find her on Instagram, Carrie McCormick Real Estate. Carrie, welcome once again to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, please check out my Instagram and for a chance to win. I'm also supporting some local businesses too, my favorite local businesses. So it's good for everybody.
Yeah, and those local businesses really can use the help right now. So we should all be thinking about ways to support those local, especially restaurants and some of the at-risk industries.
Absolutely. So thank you as always having me on the show. And, it's December here in Chicago, and what a heck of a year we've all had. And it's been great though here in the market. So I wanted just to chat about, a shifting market that I'm predicting is going to happen here in 2021. And of course, nobody really knows what's going to happen next year or the year after. But I've been doing this for a long time, and shifts are very normal for the markets. And, our job is to plan for them. So I wanted to go through a few things to consider. And again, I'm not speculating the housing market. Instead, I'd like to help just kind of thinking ahead of how to shift when it happens. I'm thinking is that 2021 is going to be a buyer's market. And again, this is just my opinion. I've been licensed since 1999, which is, a little over 20 years, and it's been quite a journey. And most of my business has been focused on sellers. And I didn't plan to be a listing agent. It just organically happened. And it's just because I'm a good marketer. And, I use my best skill set, and I'm comfortable with marketing and selling, of course. For those who don't know a lot about me, before I was in real estate, I worked at E-Trade. So I worked in advertising with E-Trade, and I worked closely with the folks in New York and California. And I learned a lot about consumer behavior and what makes people buy. I did not set out to become the listing agent. It just happened very organically. And in the last few years, as one of my mentors that I worked with early on, her name was or is Barbara O'Connor with Dreamtown. A lot of people know her, love Barbara. And she had told me early in my career that you should balance your business 50-50, buyers and sellers. And I had a hard time doing that. And I just really focused on sellers. But my business has shifted quite a bit in the last couple of years to 75% listing agent and 25% buyer's agent, and it continues to shift. And you got to look at consumer behavior in the market and what's driving it. And also, when that does shift, you got to look at how your online marketing and your lead generation, and of course your relationships with clients. So you really need to focus on understanding where the market's going and how to utilize your skill set to best maximize the market. Sorry. And if the market shifts, it's important to balance your business. And I would say just start doing it now, because we're in December headed into 2021. And I do sense that we're going to have a little bit of a change in the market.
And do you think that has to do with rates being as low as they are, and also people just being sort of stuck inside over a lot of this last year, where maybe they're thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to be working from home more often. I now might be thinking about, if I live in a
Right.
urban area, maybe I'm going to go to something where I get some more space, or even vice versa. Maybe it's time to downsize. But I would just think there's so many buyers that now can purchase things that they couldn't afford before simply based on rates.
Right. 100%. So we're seeing a shift in all that you said, and everyone's making moves regardless of, up, down, sideways, everywhere, everyone's just different. So it's
Yeah.
great to see that. But I've also noticed it's interesting, being heavy on the listing side, that when selling a property, as a lot of you know, that I'm very hands-on and I'm very demanding about my marketing. I'm very critical of what I put out, and which makes me who I am. But my job is to tell the story about the home, and I do that with pictures and videos and the narrative of the property. But it still shocks me of how some brokers put out these terrible pictures and property descriptions, but it sells. But when you're in a
Right.
seller's market, I don't want to say it doesn't matter what you do with marketing, because that's not true. But when it's a seller's market and it's very high demand, the marketing doesn't need to be, I don't think so, but some marketing isn't so crisp. But when it's a buyer's market and it shifts to that, your seller's attitudes are going to change very drastically. Selling a home in a buyer's market, you have to be focused on keeping your sellers calm, because the selling process just takes a little bit, and sellers are stressed in this type of market. So again, you just got to control the situation, and it's another skill set that you're going to have to learn, of managing your clients. And when sellers are under a lot of pressure, they're really going to look at your marketing. They're going to scrutinize everything that you do. Even at the beginning, during your listing presentation, they are going to spend a little bit more time picking the broker that they're going to work with, because no one wants to make a mistake. They want to pick the best broker that fits them in a tough market. I do think 2021 is going to be a great year in real estate. And here in Chicago, I love Chicago, and I think we're a very, very resilient city. But patterns change, and it's our job to adapt to the change of the market. And it's going to be the difference between the successful brokers and if you fail.
Yeah, you said a lot of really great things there. I was thinking a lot about marketing as well, because I'm a marketing guy for our company, although I'm not a practicing realtor like you are. But you're absolutely right. I think about consumer behavior a lot, and we look at social media as such a great sort of barometer about what the public is doing. And so when we look at particularly Instagram, I think is the biggest sort of obvious example here. Is every photo on Instagram really looks perfect, even if it's a mistake or a look at, I screwed something up, it still looks good, even though it's, maybe it's not meant to look perfect, but it still does, because we all have filters. We have different apps that we can make things, look really a lot nicer with the technology. And so we have to remember that buyers and sellers, the public, is scrolling through perfect pictures all day long. And so when it comes to your marketing material, your photos for the property, if you have listings, of course, and also just the physical marketing material, it actually is. I think you're right. I think it's become more important because we're now used to seeing perfect looking things. And it used to be really uncommon to see beautiful, amazing marketing stuff. And now we all have access to those tools, which I guess is good because we have access, but it also means you have to step up your game a little bit.
100%. Yeah, it's the Instagram, and I call it the HGTV, issue with the market, is that consumers are used to seeing these beautiful homes. And it's another agent said this, I thought it was very well. She says it's a beauty contest out there. Your home has to be the most beautiful home on the market, because everyone's being very critical. So again, it's our job as brokers and marketers to make sure that we tell the right story of the home, or advise the seller correctly.
And that's the thing too, that if you're on the buyer side, which you're saying you're doing more of, because of course there's a lot of buyers out there, that's really important before going to see a property, to have that conversation with the listing agent and say, tell me the story of this property. What do I need to convey, especially if that agent isn't going to be there for the particular showing? What's the story here? How do I sell this property? What are the highlights? What are the things to feature? And some brokers are going to be able to do that, better than others, but certainly worth a phone call in advance to the other agent.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it'll be a fun year.
Awesome. Well, that's great. So I was thinking for the marketing minute, which we do after Carrie's segment, and I want to get Carrie's opinion on this because obviously she's been a realtor for 20 years and she's been, doing all sorts of holiday giving to her sphere of influence and her clients over the years. And we were actually talking just before we started about this. And I here's an idea because we were talking about the challenge with giving holiday gifts to clients, and it's a wonderful thing to do. And in no way would I ever tell somebody not to do it, because of course, anything you want to give to somebody, you should do. But that's also the time of year where people are getting bombarded with gifts, friends, family, maybe other professional service people, attorneys, accountants, really lot of cards. My insurance agent sends me a card. And it's not to say that, any of it gets lost in the shuffle, but it does get mixed up with a lot of other things that I'm experiencing. However, I don't ever receive anything in January from anybody. I don't have a birthday that month. And I'm not suggesting you shouldn't do a holiday gift this year, but if it's now, you're getting towards, we're now, at the time we're recording this is December 7th. By the time this goes out, it'll be a little bit later. Maybe it's too late at this point. So don't worry if you don't have that together today, because you could even make a different type of impact for New Year. There's that whole New Year, New You thing. And I know we're probably sick of hearing that phrase, but you can still do something fun if you want to provide for your clients. Like, for example, our holiday party, for our company, we're not even doing it in December. We're doing it in January, because it's just too hard to get everybody together in December with the holidays. There's nothing wrong with holiday parties, and right now, of course, it's very difficult to do anything in person, but we're actually doing it now in January simply because it's just easier for us. And also people can breathe a little bit more once the new year starts. But I just think, my marketing tip is really just, whether it's you're giving in December or in July or in January, think of something that means a lot to you and that you think would be, meaningful to your clientele, something that adds value. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It certainly can be, or it could be, whatever your budget allows, but anything that just lets the clients or the sphere of influence, your contacts know, hey, my broker thought about me, my realtor thought about me. That's the important part.
Absolutely. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah. And and it's one of those things too, where, if all you did, and if you have zero budget and you really are, this is a tough time for you to be able to do those kind of things, buy some stationery, and this will take you a while. Write 2 handwritten notes a day and just do it for, the whole rest of the year. And it'll take you 5 minutes a day. If you just did that with no gift, just, hey, I was thinking about you, really hope you're doing well, or whatever you want to say. That is a gift. That is actually a gift. And in fact, it's a very meaningful gift, because you're taking the time to write it out. Of course, it's very difficult to do that, but if you can do that, if you're,
call someone too, pick up the phone and call someone too. So
love it.
You're right. I mean, it's from a zero budget to a, whatever your budget is, it's the thought that counts.
And just to put one little, because Carrie just said something that was really important, calling somebody. A lot of times we might be thinking, well, why should I, what's going to, well, I guess I could call to wish everyone a happy holidays. Absolutely. You could totally do that. And by the way, most people aren't even going to do that. So the other professional people in their lives are probably not receiving those phone calls. But if you're thinking, well, now it's January, I didn't get the calls made in December. Okay, call, wish them a happy new year, or go on social media, see what they've been up to. It takes all of 30 seconds to look up somebody, see if they've done anything interesting lately, and give them a call and say, hey, I just noticed on Facebook you were painting at, and that's really cool. Or I saw you on vacation or whatever. Anything like that. Those are great reasons to call. Just look at someone's social media and you get a sense of what they're up to.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, this is going to wrap up 2020 for us, which is like another year with the great Carrie McCormick. We are so honored at our podcast to have Carrie. She's our very first guest host since we started. She's been with us since the beginning, and she's awesome. We love her. Everyone who is listening, no matter where you are practicing in the country, if you should absolutely check out, because of Carrie's background in marketing, and she is known in Chicago amongst thousands and thousands of brokers as having some of the best marketing, especially around social media. Really, you should follow her on Instagram. So Carrie McCormick Real Estate. Again, she's doing her favorite things every day this week. So, you can to have a chance to win something, but also just to see what really good marketing looks like. And also, Carrie, if there's any buyers, sellers, investors, renters that might want to work with you or your team, what's the best way they should reach out?
Sure. It's 312-961-4612. I tell everyone just to call me or text me, but I have my phone with me all the time.
Wonderful. Well, another year done, and we'll see you in 2021. On behalf of the audience, we want to thank Carrie for her continued involvement with our show. She's so wonderful. We're thrilled to have her. And then on behalf of Carrie and myself, we want to thank every one of our listeners and viewers for continuing to tune in and support our show. Please, please, please make it a New Year's resolution to tell a friend. Think of one other agent that could benefit from hearing from top producers like Carrie. Send them a link to our show. You can find us on our website, keepingitrealpod.com. And in fact, if you want to listen to all the Carrie episodes in a row, you can scroll to the bottom, look for the Monday Market Minute episodes, and we've got them all organized there. So you can go straight to the Carrie section. So tell a friend, send them over to our website, and have a safe, happy, and healthy holiday.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.